Good morning, good morning. Daniel Harkavy here with Building Champions, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to be talking to each and every one of you. What a great turnout for this month's Champions Edge webinar. Leaders, I'm talking to you today. I am really inviting you into a 30-minute period of time that I absolutely believe can change how you lead and change the results you're getting into your organization. But in order for this call to be effective, I actually need you as if you and I were one-on-one. So I know there are hundreds of you on the phone right now, but my goal is that in this webinar, you come to it and in every bit of your presence as if you were talking to me and we were having a private conversation. Because if that happens, you are in for what I believe could be a business and life-changing 30 minutes, because I think what we're going to be talking about has application for each and every one of you on the call. Leadership is a leverage play. And I like the word leverage. It means influence or strength. And when you really look at leadership, leadership is all about influencing others, hopefully for good, in order to accomplish some uncommon feats. It's about influencing others to be the best they can be, to fully engage, so that together you can create something that is far more significant than anything you could create on your own. So think about a crowbar, all right? On your screen you've got the end of the hammer. You know, that requires leverage. It requires strength behind those teeth. And what I want to be talking to you about is, what is the force behind your lever, leaders? What's the force behind you? Because leadership is all about personhood. So for today's call, you who have been part of the Building Champions community for years, you know that I like to drive towards action. And I'm going to do so, but it's going to be a little different because I want you to self-assess. We're having a one-on-one conversation, and I'm going to be speaking to you about leadership and leverage, and I'm going to be asking you questions, and I want you to be fully engaged, self-assessing how you're doing in each of the areas that I talk about. My belief is that you as leaders, you have an opportunity to grow, or else you wouldn't be on this webinar right now. You're hungry. You want to grow. You want to improve how you influence others. You want to increase the impact you have in the lives of others. Therefore, you're investing your time today. So what's that one area that you can improve upon? Find one opportunity for growth, for you to improve. The analogy that I want to use today for you to self-assess is that of the body. We as leaders are people. And there are a few critical body parts that need to be aligned right, that need to be fully engaged in order for us to most effectively lead. So the first one that I want to talk about is your head. As a leader, everything is birthed out of what we think about. All of your thinking takes place in that noggin of yours. It impacts your beliefs, your emotions, your attitudes. It impacts how we feel when others encounter us. What I'm thinking about impacts how I affect those around me. When I walk into the office, if my thinking is positive, if my thinking is opportunistic, if my thinking is good, then that is the effect that I'm going to most likely have on those around me. If my thinking is not engaged, or worse yet, my thinking is negative, I'm concerned, I'm thinking about problems, I'm thinking about things that are not that don't have possible solutions, then my influence on my team will be much different than it would the other way. I was reading a great book. My friend and executive coach, Dr. Henry Cloud, just wrote a book called Boundaries for Leaders. And Boundaries for Leaders will be released in April. Read it. Every single one of you need to read Boundaries for Leaders by Dr. Henry Cloud when it comes out. It's fantastic. And in there's a section on optimism and the role optimism plays in the success of leaders. And, Henry's got years and years of experience, both as a clinician and as an executive coach and as a business owner. And we've had a lot of conversations over the last couple months. And there is a very common element or attribute amongst the best of leaders, and they are just optimistic people. It has to do with what they think about. So my question for you is, what are you putting into your head? What are you watching? What are you reading? Are you on an intentional growth track to improve your thinking? And then let's talk about the time invested into thinking. Because in my work with clients, I know that many spent a whole bunch of time early on in their careers thinking. They had time set aside, which we at Building Champions call on time, to think about their business, to think about how they were going to improve, to think about new opportunities and solutions to plaguing problems. They spent time intentionally thinking. And then success happens, and their calendars get completely maxed because they're dealing with all of the success and all of the business, and the thing that suffers is thinking time. So I'm asking you, how much time are you investing in intentional thinking? And it's so much fun when I'm working with an executive and we're together in a live coaching session to go through this dialogue here and to see that the greatest opportunity for that leader is they need to spend 3 or 4 hours a week in just intentional thinking time. I'm thinking of some of you on the line. I know some of you have what we call library day, or what you call library day, where every single month you're spending an entire day or two in the library thinking, reflecting, working on your business. So much of what we do at Building Champions is to improve the discipline of thinking. So, first body part, head. Are you really leveraging your thinking? Because remember, it is the foundation for everything. Your thinking impacts your beliefs, your emotions, your attitudes, your actions, and it impacts how we feel to those around us. The next body part that I want to focus in on is your heart. Our heart is where all of our deep beliefs come from, the deep convictions. Those convictions, when clear, help us to improve the decisions that we make. So, do you have deep convictions as a leader that you're willing to fight for? Do you have convictions between the way you're going to do it and not going to do it? Yesterday I was on the phone with the CEO. This company has been clients of ours for at least a decade. Fantastic company. In the last year, they've been around, we just gave them a 25-year anniversary memento. So they've been around for 25 years, and last year their balance sheet doubled. We're talking incredible growth in a 12-month period of time. And as I was talking to the CEO yesterday in this coaching session, what he shared with me, he said the turning point was when he and his group of leaders got clear on their convictions and what they stood for. He said once we got clear on what we would say yes to and no to, what was important to us and what was not important, he said that's when the game changed. Our heart, these convictions, what are you willing to fight for? Every one of you are going to have new opportunities presented to you each and every day. To swing at each and every one of them is suicide. You can't do it. You know, you've heard more companies die from indigestion than they do starvation, a great quote by Packard, and that's the truth. We can't say yes to everything. We have to have convictions around our purpose. We have to have clarity around that. We have to have convictions that are filters for all of our decisions to be run through. You know, something else that comes from the heart and these convictions, if we're clear on who we are as leaders and what we stand for, it's easier for us to stay true to what's most important. Something that I think each and every one of us should strive for is that our spouses say that we are one person, meaning we're the same person at home, at the restaurant, at work. People aren't experiencing different versions of Daniel. You are who you are. Well, when your heart's right, you have clarity around your convictions and what you stand for, it enables you to go through all of the ups and downs and curveballs in life and respond the same way. Are you safe to be around? Are you predictable? Out of your heart, these convictions that come from it, they lead to your trustworthiness. What you're thinking about with your head and what you're believing in your heart impacts your personhood. It impacts how you interact with your teammates. And something that every one of us need to get real clear on is that our teammates need to know, they want to know, that we care about them, that we're not just an asset on the balance sheet, that we're not just a vehicle to be used in order to get a certain return, but that they are seen as people, that we as leaders truly care about. The question, do you really care about me, needs to be answered through our actions. How much time are we spending connecting with our teammates when we're walking in the office in the morning? How much time are we spending truly connecting? When we're listening, are we fully present? I was with a group of leaders 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about this very topic that I'm sharing with you today. And one of the most convicting parts for this group of maybe 80 or so top performers was, what are you communicating to your teammates when you're in a conversation with them? Are you letting them know that they're important, or are you checking your email while you're talking to them? Are you looking at your iPhone while you're talking to them? Can they see that while they're saying something, your active mind is moving and you're not listening to them? Instead, you're thinking about your response. You're reloading. Remember this. Write this. I'm talking to you. How you listen to those around you is one of the best ways to show how you care about those around you. Are you really present? Are you really listening? That's birthed out of our heart. The next body part I want to focus on are our eyes. Your eyes. What do you see? What do you see? You have to remember it takes time to move masses. We can't go from here to our future state without a lot of patience and without a lot of clarity. What we see for the future, it's a vision thing. Of course I'm going to bring up vision. The best leaders have real clarity around their future state. What they see is crystal clear. And since it takes time to move masses, and we're not trying to just move one person, most of you on the call today, you're leading significant teams. And it's going to take time to move the masses. It takes time for them to fully engage. So what we see needs to be crystal clear. What we see needs to be communicated over and over and over again. You need to repeat your vision. You need to repeat your vision. You need to repeat your vision till you're blue in the face. Many leaders will fall into the trap of thinking, you know what, my teammates don't want to hear it anymore, and that's a lie. They don't want to hear it anymore if you're not taking action on it, but they always want to be reminded of a better tomorrow. They always want to be reminded of the fact that what you see and what you believe and what they're playing a role in and what they're a part of is creating a reality that is better tomorrow than the one they're currently living in today. So is your vision clear? Is your vision inspiring? Are you repeating it? Are you communicating it? Are you communicating there is a mission or an objective that is worth sacrificing for, a better reality tomorrow? Is your vision so clear that you're creating plans from it today? Are your Q1 plans for the year, your Q2 plans for the year, your overall business plan, are the initiatives on those plans birthed out of your vision? What do your eyes see? It's got to be crystal clear. You know, we need this vision in writing. You know, I've worked with too many groups for the years where they say they've got it, but they're not using it. They're not leveraging the power of their vision. The best leaders are leveraging it. They're repeating it. They're using it. They're planning from it. It will help leaders to stay the course. You need to stay the course, not just in bad times, but in good times. You know, all sorts of leaders and companies get bit in the midst of good times because they veer off course for an opportunity that's not in alignment with their vision. I'll tell you, at Building Champions, it's something that we're continually wrestling with. Stay the course. Repeat your vision. Be that vision. Yesterday, 2 coaching sessions. This was the topic with executives of very large organizations. Vision is a turning point and can be a turning point for the trajectory of a leader. When you become that visionary leader, when it becomes one of the most critical parts of who you are, and how you communicate it becomes one of the most disciplined and regular parts of how you communicate, you will see culture change. You'll see leadership influence improve. You will leverage vision. The next part after head head after heart and after eyes is your hands. And your hands are really the doing part. You know, there's some doing, your abilities and what you're filling your calendar with. What are you doing? And I want to talk to you about communication, first and foremost. A skill of a great leader is that a great leader is a clear communicator. So right now I want you to think about your communication. Are you taking the time to effectively communicate with your teammates? Are you communicating with clarity, expectations? Are you taking the time to think about expectations, to put the plans together so that there's clarity around expectations? The doing side, what you're doing physically, let's talk about your following up. So many times leaders get bit because they clearly communicate expectations, but then they fail to follow up. So here we are, you know, coming to the end of the first quarter here of the year, and it's a good time for you to ask, are you following up on the plans that your direct reports put together? Are you following up on the progress that's being made? Are you following up to encourage, to redirect? Let's talk about your intentional coaching. You know, one of your greatest responsibilities is the development of your future leadership. So the work that you're doing, is it developing future leadership capacity? So I'm talking about intentional coaching. I was with a group a few weeks back, and we talked about this very topic. There are all sorts of leaders who know that they could improve the performance of their organizations if they would be more intentional with how they coach. Are you coaching monthly? Are you going into your coaching sessions with your direct reports with clarity around outcomes? Do you know what action plans they committed to in the previous month? Do you know how you can encourage them? Do you know how you can stir them up? Do you know how you can help them to be the best they can be? And are you focusing on that? Are you fully present in your coaching sessions? Are these coaching sessions scheduled for the entire year? Maybe that's the one area for you right now. And then let's talk about accountability. You know, how you go about accountability is worth a conversation. Do you see accountability as something you can leverage for the cause of the company? It's for the improvement and for the realization of the vision, or it's for the betterment and the improvement of the player. See, when you understand that accountability helps, accountability moves the organization towards the vision. Accountability helps the player to be the best they can be. Then you approach accountability as a positive instead of a negative. And there are a lot of leaders who are really wonderful, and I know a lot of you guys and gals are great people, and accountability is just a little scary because it means conflict. And actually what it means is care. I care enough about you, the cause of the organization, and your work to ask, are you on track? If not, are you going to get on track? When are you going to get on track? And how can I help you? You know, in a 30-minute webinar, really doing leadership and leverage a full service is a challenge, because I honestly think I could talk about this for an entire day. But I want you to understand this. Leveraging your leadership is all about you. It's your personhood. And your personhood, who you are, impacts how you lead. So many times people want to just improve their knowledge, or they want to improve a skill, but it's bigger than that. To improve your leadership, you have to improve yourself. Ask yourself, are you fueled by serving others? If not, how can you become fueled by serving others? The best leaders are servants. Now, you need to catch this, okay? Our teammates are watching us. So it is us. They're watching us. They're watching us. They're listening to us, both in the office and in life. They're listening to how we talk to and about our spouses. They're listening to us and watching us as we talk about others on the team. They observe us interacting with people that we encounter each and every day. Maybe the cab driver, maybe the hostess, the server. They see that. Do you treat people differently, or are you the same person? I have so often seen leaders derail and get off track because something in what we've talked about, their head, their heart, their eyes, or their hands, it's off. It's their personhood. And I'm talking to you about the fuel behind the lever. Where's that force? It's got to be birthed out of how you see and believe in life. Do you see that you have this amazing opportunity to lead and serve your team for greater good? Oftentimes the mistake is made where the leader thinks that the team and the position is there to serve them. And that's when trouble always hits. You know, our teammates, they're watching us with our time. You know, they're watching us with our time. Are we investing in small and trivial work, or are we investing in big and strategic and meaningful work? They want to know that once we've got to a certain level as leaders, are we coasting, or are we still fully engaged? Are we pressing ourselves in the same ways that we're pressing them? They're watching us in how we deal with people. They're watching us in how we deal with crisis, in failure, in unmet expectations, in success. How do we deal with success? How do we deal with delays, conflict? How do we deal with good, evil in business and in life? Now, you have to catch this, okay? Because they see our outward actions and they make decisions about who we are on the inside based upon what they see and hear on the outside. And depending upon what they see and depending upon what they hear, that is to the level that they will trust and then engage in the mission of the company. What I'm talking about is your leadership and your personhood. It impacts the culture of the organization and it impacts the results. And I know everyone want to be the kind of leaders that create an exceptional culture and make exceptional results. They see our outward actions, and they make decisions about who we are on the inside based upon what they see and they hear. And then there's another area of you that they're watching. How do you care about you? How do you care for you? You see, there are leaders who get caught in the trap that if you think you work, you know, you're being a great leader by working until 11 or 12 at night and being up at 4:30 the crack of dawn and sending emails during that entire time. You're committed. You're killing people. They're watching you. You're killing yourself. They're watching you neglect other areas of your life. You can disagree with me, and I expect to get some pushback on this one. But I have to tell you something. Who we are impacts the believed or perceived expectations our teammates have of how we feel of them or what we expect of them. So if you're the leader that's sending the emails and making the phone calls 24 hours a day, your teammates believe that's what you want for them. So you can't sit there and tell them, hey, I want you to live your life plan and have a great marriage and take care of your health and be, you know, multi-dimensional in your aspect, in all aspects of your personhood, if you're expecting them to respond 24/7. I'm talking about leading something sustainable. So they're watching you. How are you caring for you, your health, your spirit, your core being, your pace, your key relationships? This is why life planning is so important for us leaders. It's not a one-time thing, it's an all-the-time thing. So right now, just a few minutes left in the call, my question for you is, where can you improve? Where can you improve your leverage? Where can you gain more force behind your lever? Is it in your thinking? Is it in your beliefs and clarity around your heart, what you stand for, who you are in the organization? Is it around what you see for the future, the clarity around that, the repetition of that, how you communicate that? Or is it a certain aspect of your hands? Is it in your communication? Is it in your clarity of expectations, your follow-up, your coaching? Or is it in just your overall personhood? I was with an individual earlier this week, and after I had some time with him, I left. It was actually my wife and I were together in a meeting with this guy. And he later told me that after we left, he said he told his wife that he needed to improve who he was as a person. And his wife made some joking remark like, yeah, it's about time. The gentleman's in his 50s, very successful business professional, and he said, I'm serious, I would like to improve who I am. I love that. Our personhood impacts our leadership influence. So, do you see your role right? Leaders, you've been given an opportunity to steward over, to shepherd, to serve, and to care for all on your team. You've been given an opportunity to create shared and common goals, shared and common purpose, for all of these diverse skill sets and experiences to come together and create something exceptional. How do you leverage that? It takes time. You need clarity, you need patience, you need heart, you need incredible thinking. We all need to improve. Every single one of us. Write this down. Self-leadership always precedes team leadership. Self-leadership always precedes team leadership. It's a leverage play, totally. At my blog, I spend a lot of time talking about proactive and intentional decision-making in business and in life. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to focus on this leverage and leadership, and I'll start unpacking some of the doing sides of leadership. Today's really the being side. And in the next few weeks, you'll start to see some posts come out where I'll be talking just about some leadership skill sets, some real specific disciplines that I'm seeing with leaders that might be valuable for you. So stay tuned, sign up, subscribe to my website. It's there on your screen, www.danielharkavy.com. I want you guys to know something. There are more of you on this webinar than we've had in the history of the company in the past 17 years. Obviously, this has struck a chord. There were more registered for this this conversation. And if it resonates with you, there's an opportunity to be with us in September. We're going to be together in Sun River, September 17th through the 20th, 225 people attending, and it is by far one of the highlights of our year here at Building Champions. The experience is a full-blown immersion experience where we're going to help you to improve thinking, skill sets, knowledge. No matter what role you play in your organization, you will leave here with not just new thinking and new content, but time to actually implement what we share with you. It's an amazing, amazing few days. So as you're looking at your calendar, we're about, 7 months out from this thing. Take a good look at it. This is something that I think many of you should not miss. All right? If you need anything, we're here. We are here for you. You now see how you can get in touch with us. Stay tuned to my blog post. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. I'm actually going to stick around on the webinar. Todd, can I do that? Can I stick around for a few minutes with these folks? Yeah? I'm going to stick around. If you guys have some questions for me, I want to serve you. I've got a few minutes here. Any specific questions on what we've talked about, shoot them my way. We'll see them here on the screen, and I'll answer as many as I can. Thank you very much for the affirmation, Louise. I appreciate it. Thank you. Gail, thank you as well. My pleasure. All of us can improve. I love the topic. It is a topic that challenges me. Thank you very much. Who is that? I appreciate that. You know, you guys are awesome. I'm getting a whole bunch of positive feedback on the call, and I totally appreciate that. Thank you. It's a blessing for us to get to do this. Any specific questions for you guys or gals? Oh, I love hearing that. People are saying very powerful, good stuff. You know, it's, oh, will I send out a video replay of the webinar? You bet. The webinar will be posted on our Building Champions site. And Todd, when will it be up there, you think? It'll be up there today? Cool. So later on today, you'll be able to download this and listen to it and share it. It's funny, I was given the opportunity to give an expanded talk on leadership and leverage a few weeks ago. And I get to speak on numerous topics throughout the year, numerous different audiences and companies and things of that sort. It's a real privilege to get to do that. And as I was preparing for this talk, I told my wife, Sherry, I said, Dave, this one is really exciting for me because I think there's so much opportunity here. And it's not a topic that a lot of people spend time focusing on. But when you really get it, it improves every aspect of your life. So I don't know. I love the topic. I'm going to be speaking about it and writing about it over the months ahead. There's going to be more on it because I really do think that we have so much opportunity to leverage our leadership, and we just need to be proactive and intentional and bring in our A game. Yeah, any advice for choosing the right coach? That's the kind of question I like. There are a lot of great coaches out there, and I will answer with the firsthand knowledge of the Building Champions team. There are about 14 of us coaches here at Building Champions, and every single one of them are really gifted, really gifted. For the last 16, 17 years, we've coached thousands of business professionals. And the way you go about it is you make the call. And if you were to call us, what we would do is we would interview you, and we would find out where you wanted to grow, what your current business need looked like, where your current need life opportunity looked like, and then we would place you with a coach for you to be able to do an initial interview. And this is all before you commit. You don't spend a dime. You talk to the coach, and you see if there's connection, and then if there's the connection, you go. If you're looking at just having this answered generically, just make sure the coach has a fantastic track record. You want to hear from some of their past clients. You want to know that they've got a similar overall business and life philosophy as you, so they're not going to get you off track. And spend some time with them before you commit. That's what the initial interview is all about for us. Any templates that I would recommend to help with our thinking? Templates. The word template to me immediately brings me to this tool that I have in front of me. I was with a gentleman yesterday who wants to become an author, and I use this visual planning tool that I originally learned about from Mike Vance, who was on the Walt Disney team. And Mike Vance and Diane Deacon have written a couple books, Breaking Outside of the Box. And Mike Vance has this visual planning tool. He calls it displayed thinking. Yeah, displayed thinking. And that displayed thinking tool is fantastic. So Mike Vance, displayed thinking, it's a great tool to improve how you think. It helps you to take everything in your mind and put it down into a linear format. I use it for writing books, for giving talks, for managing projects. I love it. If you want a copy of it, feel free to email us, info@buildingchampions.com, and just put in their visual planning tool, and I'd be more than happy to send that out to you. Yes, you get to review this. Changing culture when I want change and others are apprehensive. Oh, how do I do it when others are apprehensive? I think that's what you mean. Okay, so when you have teammates who are apprehensive to change, just understand that's normal. Change is hard for all of us. And the only way that we really get full buy-in to change is when people have full belief in what we see for the future. So your vision has to be crystal clear. And you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent and not veering from opportunity to opportunity if you want your people to believe that that vision is really the end game. So be patient. Make sure your vision is crystal clear. Make sure it inspires you. Make sure it's so clear you can plan from it. And then repeat it, share it, get buy-in, get people's feedback. But it becomes part of who you are. It's not something that you do. It becomes part of who you are. You're repeating it and sharing it all the time. Let me give you a tangible example. Every single Monday morning, 7:30 Pacific time, our entire team is on a webinar, and the meeting always starts and always has started with me reading a portion of our vision every single week. And if I'm not here, somebody else on the team does it. Every single Christmas party we have, the vision gets shared. All of our strategic meetings, we talk about a portion of the vision. It's something that's part of your DNA. It will help you to move people along. To have an example of a leader, past or present, that embodies these principles? That's a great question. I actually have a whole bunch of leaders that I've worked with that all embody different parts of this. Have I seen the full package? Yeah. I mean, there are a few leaders out there that I've had the opportunity to work with that are the full meal deal. I mean, they've got the thinking, they've got the head, the heart, the eyes, the hands. Their personhood is just fantastic, and they're out there. And, you know, some of you guys and gals are on the webinar with me. So, yes, they are out there. I'm fortunate I get to see them, you know, just because of who we attract at Building Champions, we get to see them often. Do I offer any programs, or do we offer any programs on managing offsite employees? Absolutely. You know, specific programs, no, but as a part of our coaching, absolutely. We have clients that are global, that have plants throughout the world, that have teammates throughout the world, that you know, have the language barriers where they're working with people. And all of our, we have a big portion of our coaching is done over the phone. So we help you with that. Most of our clients have branches and offices and stores around the country, and then we do have some that are global as well. Hey, thanks. First webinar with me, and with us at Building Champions. Glad you're on the line. Any other questions? What time do we have? How do you lead a team effectively when you feel stuck personally? Gosh, that's a good question. And I've been there before, and it's really, really hard. You know, it depends on what the cause for the stuckness is. When I'm stuck, it's hard for me to influence optimism or change in anybody. That's why our personhood plays such a big role. I'll tell you what, when you're stuck, you need to go back to your life plan. I'm going to assume that this is new to you, and if you want a copy of the life plan, info@buildingchampions.com, put in life plan, and what we will do is we will send you not only the life plan, but we'll send you some links to where we speak about the life plan and how it can help you. When you're stuck, you need little victories. You need little victories to create momentum. And I'm not doing a good job of answering your question because I don't know what's causing you to be stuck. But you need to create some specific, clear action plans between where you're at now and what you see as being possible to get you out of the pit. And I'll tell you what, my email is daniel@buildingchampions.com. Send me what's going on. Send me an email. Let me know what's causing you to be stuck. I'll do the best I can to help you. What are the top 3 ways, quick hits, I can improve communication to our team? Okay. Regularity. Our president, Barry Engelman, sends out an update at the beginning of every single week. He calls it, you know, the president's update, or Coach Gary's update, but he is communicating to the entire organization all the big things every single week. Regular, powerful team meetings where people come in prepared and you're talking about the important things on a weekly basis is number 2. Number 3 are daily huddles. In the mornings, you're connecting with the people you need to connect with. It's not a sitting meeting, it's a standing meeting, and you're talking about what needs to get done. You're communicating that way. Those are 3 quick hits. Very much appreciated. With a question before that one, Doug? If you feel like you need to improve your self-leadership in multiple areas, is in order you should approach these areas? Should you start with the area of most need and start with that first, or should you try? Oh, great question. And so somebody's, you know, I love your transparency. You know, you have a lot of room to improve. Start where you have the greatest need, okay? Start where you have the greatest pain point. Optimism is our friend. Positive thinking and feeling is our friend. So you have to close the gaps where they're painful. So focus on those areas first and foremost. How do you share your vision at meetings? Simply just read it or infuse it into different aspects of what your goals are? Great questions. I share a different aspect of it in every single meeting. I might share a conviction this week, our purpose next week. I might share what I see for our leadership team the week after, what I see for our not-for-profit partner the week after that. So I'm always sharing different aspects of it. But then every initiative that we work on, we always connect it back to some part of our vision. All right? everything we're improving upon has got to connect back to that vision. Otherwise, you won't have momentum and inertia moving forward and completing your plans. Oftentimes, organizations and leaders don't follow through on their plans. They don't bring the plan to completion because it wasn't connected to or rooted from anything meaningful, such as their vision. Daniel, read all your books this time. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, gang. Well, I have to run. Thank you so very much for joining us today. Stay tuned. We've got these every single month, and we've got all sorts of blog sites out there to help you. The experience is fantastic. One-on-one coaching, you got it. We're here for you. Let us know how we can serve you and continue to believe and know that you can and make a significant difference. The best of luck. Bye-bye.